Dr. Jones, fellow classmates, and guests. My name is Schumpert. There's not a day that goes by when you do not read. But have you ever sat down and read a poem or a story that made you feel like you were sitting right there in that time? I am here today to inform you about literature during the 16th century. I selected literature because I'm so amazed at how writers put their words and feelings through many literature forms. I will inform you today on how lyrical poetry, pastoral literature, and allegoric narratives will allow you to relive the 16th century. Let's start with the words that are used to express the way you feel and your thoughts, which is known as lyrical poetry. Lyrical poetry became very important in the 16th century due to Thomas Watt and Henry Howard. According to the 16th century Renaissance English literature. Lyrical poetry in the 16th century was sonnets and odes that expressed the thoughts and feelings of the poets. According to a history of English literature, there are two periods in times where lyrical poetry was important. Back in the 7th century, Greeks used to have choral lyrical poetry that was performed in choirs and accompanied by lyres. For example, the marriage song and the praise for people. Also in the Renaissance area, there was a lot of people who lived in rural areas, also known as the country. Pastoral literature of English Renaissance state that this new type of literature, by the name of pastoral literature, was the way of telling about living in the country. This genre of literature presents a conventional picture of the rural life. It shows the naturalness and innocence of that time. The author is an author of the Iliad, which is a famous piece of pastoral literature, stated by the Norton Anthology of English Literature, the 16th century introduction. This story discussed the pleasures of country life, engaged in impromptu singing contests, recount folktales, lament the loss of loved ones, and offer elegies on the deceased. Last but not least is the way we continue to write with symbolic meaning. We never state what the issue is, but we hint or give symbols that makes the connection and meaning to the issues. This special type of writing is allegorical literature. The 16th century English poet Edmund Spenser uses his romance, The Faerie Queene, as a commentator on English behavior according to allegory, art, and literature. At this moment, if there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer. Reading lyrical poetry about the author's feelings and thoughts, pastoral literature that talks about the country life, and allegorical narratives that give you hints and use symbolic meaning to express an issue allows you to relive the 16th century as you choose. Thank you.